so how do we isolate and neuromuscularly re-educate, strengthen the deep neck flexors? So this is the way I like to teach it. So you're lying down supine, knees bent, and what I have the client do is I actually have them put their hand over the front of their neck, and then I ask them to lift their head off the ground. So I'm gonna remove my hand just so you can see. You can probably see my neck muscles bulging out right now as I do that, right? So that's not wrong. That's their job. That's the sternocleidomastoid and scalenes. They are the ones that lift the head up against gravity, okay? But the reason I want the client to feel these muscles now doing this is so that when we try to do a more subtle, what's called the chin nod or chin retraction, using our deep neck flexors, the ones we're going for, they can differentiate between which muscles are doing that action. So then the next step is I have them still keep their hands here over their neck and have them do a chin nod, right? Or sometimes my cue is gently press the occiput, which is that big bone sticking out on the back of your skull, gently press that into the mat. Now what most people will do when you tell them to do a chin nod, a chin tuck, press the skull into the mat, is this, right? Double chin, muscles stick out, they're doing too much, and we're getting those superficial muscles, which are the ones we're trying to shut off to get to the deeper layer of our neck stabilizers. So with their hand here now, hopefully they can learn through this feedback that when I want them to do the chin nod, it's just barely pressing again the back of my head into the mat and releasing. So now if I do it without my hand here, hopefully you can see a little tiny bit of movement. My chin kind of drops down, my head moves up that way slightly, and my neck, back of my neck lengthens, and I hold that for 10 seconds, and then I relax. So again, gently press the back of the occiput or the back of the skull into the mat. No tension here, right? Hold it for 10 seconds and then relax. Now, I realize this is not an exciting Pilates exercise, but this is the movement that is necessary to be able to really isolate those deep neck flexors. So what I do and what I teach my clients to do is to do 10 of those. So 10 reps, 10-second hold every day before you get out of bed. You can just do it lying in your bed up against your pillow. We start there. Then you can progress that to doing it in a more upright position. So possibly standing against a wall. So same thing, you would stand with your occiput against the wall and gently press it into the wall while you're standing. Hold for 10 seconds, release. Also, you can do this one driving in your car. So hands are on the steering wheel, headrest of the seat back behind you. When you're at a stop sign or light, you gently press the occiput against the headrest, hold for 10 seconds, and then gently release. So all of this will neuromuscularly re-educate those deep neck flexors that have been turned off, stretched out, lengthened from all this forward head posture to get them to start working properly again to stabilize your neck.
Okay, we also want to work those deep neck flexors in prone, which is a little bit harder because our head's not supported and we won't feel that feedback for the chin nod. But basically I'm going to be lying in prone, forehead down on a towel roll or a little cushion so that you have your neck in neutral alignment. And then I like to have my hands facing down so that it opens my shoulders a little bit more. So traditionally in this exercise, which I'm gonna do is our basic back extension or the dart, we have the hands facing in, which is fine, but since usually forward head goes with rounded shoulders, I like to have the palms down to open the shoulders a little bit more. So I'm gonna do the chin nod here as well. So I like to put my hand kind of on my occiput so that I can gently press into my occiput to make sure that I'm activating the correct muscles. Draw the shoulder blades down and back to activate the lower traps, and then float just the arms up. So I shouldn't feel any neck tension. I'm not lifting my head up off the towel. I'm just activating right now those kind of arm extensors and mid traps and rhomboids. Once they've got that down, then we can progress it to level 2, where I'm gonna do my chin nod first again, shoulder blades down and back, but then I'm gonna lift everything as one unit. So I'm still keeping my deep neck flexors activated as I lift, and then lower back down. Because usually what we see with this exercise, I'm gonna exaggerate here, but usually we see people coming up like this, right? Jutting the chin out, bringing the head forward, and that's just going to sort of make this whole thing worse of this forward head posture that we see with the tech neck type thing. So we want to teach them to be able to keep the head in neutral by keeping their deep neck flexors activated as they come into these different types of exercises, whether the arms are here, up in the goalpost, same idea, chin nod first, shoulder blades down and back, float up. So we want to train that way first so that they can really get those deep neck flexors back to working the way they're supposed to. And probably the hardest position to keep our deep neck flexors working is when we do something like a chest lift or a sit-up, because everyone wants to use their neck muscles, right? So I love this little trick. I just have a towel placed underneath my shoulder blades. I'm gonna hold on to the corners of the towel so it makes like a little hammock for my neck, right? I wanna make sure it's taut so that I feel supported. Then before I do anything, I'm gonna do my chin nod. I'm gonna draw my shoulder blades down and back like we learned in the previous exercise.